the NEL coming to a close, we are presented with one of the most hyped matches to round off the saga. Paris X Gen or PXG, the home of Rin Itoshi, Shida Ryusei, Charles Chevalier, and Julian Loki, versus Bastard Munchen, the domain of the Dual Kings, Yoichi Isagi and Michael Kaiser, spearheaded by the world's best striker, Noel Noah. A game that determines the winner and champion of the Neo Egoist League, and also establishes the future career of a new generation World 11. Needless to say that this game is definitely one of the most hyped games that we've ever seen in the entire series. Or at least that's what I would say if I was uncultured and not aware of the peak that we're about to receive. Because after this mid-ass game ends, we get the absolute peak game of FC Barcha versus Manshine Shitty. Nah, but all jokes aside, once the game between Bastard Munchen and PXG ends, we will learn the fate of Nagi and Ryo, as well as how the game between the two worst teams in the NEL will play out. But in regards to Ryo's plan, what exactly do I think is going to happen? Will Nagi and Ryo awaken and leave Barcha winless? Or will Barcha pull off his second hat-trick and bury the Genius and the Chameleon in their own defeat? Well, in today's video, I'll be going over my personal prediction as to what I think the FC Barcha versus Manshine City game is going to entail, and what I think is going to happen to players like Nagi, Ryo, and Barcha as a result of the game. Before getting into the video though, I want to leave a spoiler warning for the current chapters of the BLUELOCK manga, and if you aren't caught up, I would suggest you click off this video now because there will be spoilers. Now, I don't think I need to bring this up, however, if you are watching this video in the future where this game has already come out, what I say in this video may not exactly line up with what happens in the story. As for the game prediction itself, I think it's fair to say that Manshine City is going to win. Not even considering the narrative, I think when you compare the power of the BLUELOCKers on Barcha to those on Manshine, it's pretty clear which team dominates in terms of overall power. I mean, aside from Barcha, the only other characters with any real skill are Atoya, Darai, and Aiki. And over on Manshine, you have Nagi, Ryo, Chigiri, Nue, Haragi, and Nishioka. And I think we all know that Nishioka unironically slams all of Barcha by himself. The point I'm making is that even with Nagi and Ryo in a slump, Chigiri and the other players are definitely enough to compensate and wipe the floor with Barcha. As for what the score will be, I can definitely see it being 3-1 in Manshine's favor like the thumbnail has, or it could be 3-2 with Manshine still winning. As for goal scorers, I'm not expecting a single person to score multiple goals, so unlike the thumbnail, I don't see Nagi or Barcha scoring a hat trick. When it comes to each player scoring a goal, I think it's a no-brainer to say that Barcha and Chigiri will likely each score one goal. As Barcha has scored a goal in every single game that he's participated in, the same goes for Chigiri excluding Ubers. Atoya was able to score in the game against PSG thanks to Lavanho, so it is still a possibility that he could score again given a similar situation. As for Nagi and Ryo, their two goals are very special in this game, less so for Nagi, but more so for Ryo. I do believe that while each character will score a goal, I believe that both players will assist each other in scoring, giving them a goal plus an assist to increase their value. While the bidding system shows some inconsistencies sometimes, I can definitely see one goal and one assist being enough to shoot both players up in value to the point where they don't have to stress about being eliminated. I think given the ambition of Nagi wanting a new heat and Ryo coming in with a plan, it would involve some way to boost their value up by a large margin. And with reference to other goals as well as the 5-stage fake volley, Nagi would need to pull off some kind of performance that gives him a value that is less than 88 million, but enough to put him somewhere near the top. I mean, with Nagi being a fan favorite character, it's likely that he's going to end up towards the top of the charts at the end of the NEL. And given what Ryo said after Manshine, my guess is that Nagi will finish the NEL with a value of 100 million yen, putting him in 5th place on the ranking, just above Barcha. But why exactly do I believe that Manshine is going to win the game, aside from that huge gap in power that I already mentioned? Well, there are a couple of reasons. The first factor comes down to overall strength, which I already mentioned and explained fully. The second comes down to player development. When looking at the players in the series who drastically need the development, at least currently in the NEL, to say that players like Ryo and Nagi aren't on that list is just incredibly wrong. With their values dropping from 88 million to 40 million and 40 million to 34 million, these two players are definitely in need of a boost to their value, which only can come from winning. But you know who doesn't need to win? Meguro Barcha. We see throughout the NEL that despite the losses, Barcha doesn't need to win to show off his worth, seeing with him earning a bid of 79 million yen despite losing every single game in the NEL. That's why Barcha was placed on a team that we can all clearly tell is the weakest of them all. Barcha is a player whose playstyle and weapons can shine on a team of nobodies, and with his performances, winning wouldn't make any difference to his character. However, players like Nagi and Ryo are most definitely in need of a win right now because it's the only way that they can remain in the series. And that brings me to my third reason, that being the narrative. Throughout the series, the build-up of characters like Nagi and Ryo have been so obviously apparent that it wouldn't make any sense for them to be kicked out. It also calls in the episode Nagi's side story because what point is there to reading that if Nagi's just gonna get kicked out of BLUELOCK anyways? The same thing applies to Ryo. I get that some people don't like the character of Nagi and Ryo and think that they would be better off splitting up, but realistically, some of their best plays come from working together. And that's just something that you guys need to accept. But going into Nagi and Ryo's actual performance, what do I see happening that allows them to survive the NEL? Before I get into into that though, if you are enjoying this video so far, leave me a like and subscribe down below to see more awesome Blue Lock content just like this. I also have a Discord server, the New Egoist Geeks, which you should totally join. The link to that is down below. Now as for the goals and assists themselves, what do I think is going to happen? Well, let's start with Ryo. Looking at Ryo's development in the NEL, through the training of Manshine City, he was able to increase his physical specs and overall abilities to allow him to copy more technical and precise plays. This was shown with him being able to copy the cross elastico nutmeg from Sai and the Travella shot from Rain. And prior, we saw that Ryo was able to replicate the technical plays of Aiku, Neo, and even Nagi in the U20 match, meaning to an extent, Ryo can copy the plays of a genius. Now you could think I'm going somewhere with this. Is Ryo going to copy a genius? If so, what genius is he going to copy? And to that I say, no, because I don't believe that Ryo will be copying a genius and instead will be copying a talented learner who we all once thought was a genius. My prediction is that Ryo is going to score thanks to him creating a copy of the Kaiser Impact. Now just hear me out on this, because if you listen to my explanation of the Kaiser Impact, my prediction does kind of make sense. The Kaiser Impact, from how it appears, is a weapon specifically made for Kaiser that is impossible to copy, seen with Noah himself saying that he would be unable to replicate it. However, that statement was made back in Barcha, and with the current evidence that we have, we know a lot more about this technique. First off, the Kaiser Impact is not genetic. We see from the backstory of Kaiser that the Kaiser Impact was something that he created through his repeated kicking of the ball towards the wall. It rhymed. Then going to Bastard Munshine, Kaiser learned to incorporate his entire body, and in his words, all of his malice into his kick, creating the Kaiser Impact that we know of today. And second, the Kaiser Impact is a full body volley shot. Looking at every display of the standard Kaiser Impact, the execution of the kick is due to his entire body being used for the leverage of his swing, rather than the standard style of a player planting their foot like most characters do. We see this in every display of the standard Kaiser Impact, with even some variations involving his body being in the air. So because of this, the Kaiser Impact, in order to be executed in its most effective form, needs to be an in-air volley shot. And because of this, Kaiser, in order to do this kind of shot, must have incredible body balance and control, which we all know he has thanks to his bicycle kick. But how does this contribute to Ryo copying the Kaiser Impact? Like Kaiser, Ryo excels in overall body balance and dexterity, meaning if he replicated the formula to create the Kaiser Impact and had trained his body to do it, he would be able to copy it. And thanks to Manshine City's training, Ryo can train his body to get to a level where he can copy the Kaiser Impact shooting formula. This is further proven by him copying Nagi's jumping turn, a technique that many people have considered to be impossible. So copying the formula for the Kaiser Impact isn't that ridiculous. With Ryo also unlocking Metavision, he would be able to copy another aspect of the Kaiser Impact shooting formula. Of course, he wouldn't have the insane swing speed that Kaiser does, or Predator Eye that allows for him to focus on the goal spot, but copying at least 50% of the formula will still allow for Ryo to create an insanely powerful copied ability. Given the evidence that I've presented, I don't see how it's impossible for Ryo to copy the Kaiser Impact. Sure, you can say that he won't use it in the game, but to say that he can't use it is just wrong. We see Ryo be able to copy things that he only sees for a couple of times, and given the fact that he saw the Kaiser Impact firsthand, and also likely saw it thanks to media footage, it's fair to say that Ryo pulling off a chameleon impact is definitely a possibility. I think that plus an assist to Nagi is easily what will shoot his value up, becoming a player who can copy 2 of the new generation 11's high level techniques. Now speaking of Nagi, what do I see him doing that allows him to increase his value? I mean, every time Nagi shoots, there's always something special to it, so what exactly is he going to do this time? Well, to be honest, I really don't know. With Nagi asking for a new heat, I'm betting it's going to be something similar to when he first started soccer, or something in relation to the episode Nagi manga. I doubt it'll be something in relation to his fake volley technique, but it'll likely be in relation to another style of shooting that he's done before. That just makes the most sense to me. But those were just my thoughts and predictions regarding Manshine versus Barcha, and why I believe that Manshine will defeat Barcha at the end of the NEL. Now obviously my opinion and prediction could be wrong depending on when you're watching this video, so if I am wrong, just forget everything I said in this video. But if I am right, then let me know. Aside from that, I hope you guys did enjoy this video and will continue to enjoy it in the future. I also have some news regarding the BLUELOCK New World fan movie, being that before the new year, we will be releasing a trailer for the film, along with some extra info regarding it. So I hope you guys are excited for that. As for the question of the video, who do you think is going to win? Manshine City or FC Barcha? Leave me your thoughts down below in the comment section. And like always, thank you all for watching, like and subscribe to see more awesome BLUELOCK content just like this.